My guest tonight is an actor, producer, and writer who starred in the films Superbad, Knocked Up, and The 40-Year-Old Virgin. Please welcome our good friend, Seth Rogen!
Good to be out.
It's really good. Isn't it really good to have an audience?
It is wonderful. It's so weird adjusting to think people without masks are the smart people now. Is what it's a really weird adjustment for me. I don't know what to. I didn't know whether to shake your hand or not just now. I don't know what to do.
We're in a weird moment.
It's a weird time.
We're sort of in between, and so. I always have a mask on me, and I put it on, but then other people go like, what are you doing? I'm gonna take it off, and then someone else might say, put it back on!
No, it's weird, I don't know whose hand to shake, and some people are fist bumping. A dude came up to me on the street and recognized me, and I just found myself motorboating him. I just didn't. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know.
It does keep the spray to a minimum.
Yeah.
It does, yeah. It's not a contagious area, your man breasts.
Are you, but it looks like, I mean, yes, it's a very strange period, but I think we're going to navigate our way.
No, yeah, but I'm also filming a show right now, and what's weird is Hollywood production has generally not adjusted to the fact that we are all vaccinated. We are all still wearing our masks all day as we're filming, and it mostly drives me crazy because I hate it when Republicans are right about anything. And I know that right now, if a Republican came to our set and was like, you're a bunch of like virtue signaling Hollywood assholes, I'd be like, you're right. We are. There's no need for these masks.
You think yeah, because they're still blocking people up into zones, red zone, blue zone, yellow zone.
It's all meaningless. Yeah, we're motorboating each other out here, guys. Let's take the masks off. You can't get a good motorboat with a mask on.
Well, I beg to disagree.
Let's try it.
When I was a surgeon, you know, I want to thank you because you were my first guest on the TBS show 11 years ago.
I was.
And very nice to do it. It's a long time ago now.
It was a long time ago, yeah. It's a rare distinction in comedy to be someone's first guest on their second talk show.
Actually, it was my third.
It was your third talk show, yeah.
Hey, even I'm losing track. Come on. Conan's had 45 shows.
I know, I was like, this is the one.
38 years.
Yeah, this is the one. No, but it was a real honor, honestly, and I know you were literally telling me backstage how you don't like hearing this, but I grew up watching your show. When I was, I think, 12 years old when it first came on. So, you know, things like the Masturbating Bear, honestly, were like the things I grew up obsessed with comedically, and were truly like some of my favorite things. And then I got older, and I got to be an actor, and I got to be on the show. And I remember the first time being backstage and meeting the Masturbating Bear. And I was like, honestly, starstruck. Like, it was truly like meeting like Tom Hanks or something for the first time, who incidentally also was masturbating the first time I saw him. So it was a lot like meeting Tom Hanks for the first time.
No, I actually do like, I pretend I kind of don't like it, but I'm very happy when younger comedy people say, oh, I mean, Bill Hader last night was saying he was, whatever he was, 15, 16, and would watch it with his friends and really think this is so weird, and their parents would hate it, but they would like it. And I thought, oh, well, that was nice. We separated children from their parents.
Exactly. Anyway, yes. Not that I needed that done. Anyway, it reaffirmed the wedge that was driven between me and my family. Yeah. No, my mother loves the Masturbating Bear, actually.
Oh, good. Sign of class. You know, I had a question for you, which is, you seem like a guy, and I've known you for a long time, you seem like a guy who's, I don't know, relaxed, centered, like you know who you are.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a lot of free time now. For a while, we're going to start something else up, but I'm going to have some downtime. And I honestly, I'm not even kidding, I don't really know what to do with downtime.
Yes, I get that sense from you.
Yeah. Really? Tell me, yeah.
I do. I mean, I remember doing your live show in Vancouver after,
Yeah.
and I remember being with you backstage, and we were just like, "What is happening right now? Like, why are you doing this?"
I demanded that I had all the time to like take some time off before we started the next thing. And I'm like, no, we're doing more show all across the country. And I think
in theaters,
I needed to be medicated, but it was still a lot of fun.
No, it was a pleasure to play a part in your therapy in some small way. Yeah, I think you do have time on your hands. I would suggest, this is going to be hilariously on brand, try smoking a lot of weed for a long time. Try it. You seem like someone who doesn't smoke a lot of weed to me.
I don't smoke any weed, and that's not a judgment. No. I am kind of...
you like being lucid.
I enjoy my lucidity.
Yeah. Never a sentence I've even thought in my life.
But it's true. Like I am not. Well, Andy, you've known me a long time. It's not that I have any problem with people smoking pot. I think it's actually, seems to be a fine herb. But I enjoy.
If there's ever a sign you didn't smoke weed, it's that you just called it a fine herb.
It's a fine herb, as I'm told. But the couple of times I've tried it, like nothing really happened.
Really?
And, well, yeah. And then I think it metabolizes and becomes more orange pompadour. But I know that you own a weed company, so you might actually you might be able to tell me, maybe I was smoking the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. What would you know me, what would you want me smoking? Okay. I swear to God. This is how lame I am. For a second, I thought he brought a birthday candle. That is no birthday candle.
No, don't smoke that now. This will be a great weird show for all of us.
Well, what is this? What is it really?
That is weed.
I know it's weed. I didn't think it was pencil shaving, but I'm curious. Like, are you as a professor of weed telling me that this is the kind you think I should use?
I think you should take one hit of that weed, and I think you'll have a really good time. And,
okay. Yeah. Do you have a light? I don't have a light. Do you have a light? Does anyone have a light?
I do have a lighter. Yeah.
One hit. This is the kind of thing you do when you know it's over for you. What are they gonna do to me?
I'm so nervous right now.
I know, I'm seriously.
120 people. Other way.
I really don't know what the doing. All right. Tell me, and then you just get right in there, huh?
Okay, yeah.
All right.
I'll hold on to this for a while.
Yeah, you better hold on to that. When does this thing that's going to happen?
Well, we'll wait a few minutes and see how you feel, and then maybe you have a little bit more if you're still functional.
I'm driving a school bus in an hour.
Yeah, good.
Now people are going to be looking for anything I do and be like, that's it!
Exactly.
Like, I'll do this, and they'll be like, he's high! No, I've been doing that for like 30 years.
For a long time.
I was complimenting you backstage. Your book,
I'm so happy with what just happened.
I am actually.
I wasn't expecting any of this.
I'm not because I forgot I applied for a job at Target.
I'm laughing way too long.
Anyway.
Wow, yeah. Is it supposed to burn? It kind of burns in
It's
there.
very much supposed to burn.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
It's smoke inside your body.
Right, because I sucked it in. Right.
Right.
Okay, all right. I like how controlling I am about it. You know what I mean? I'm like a narc to prove that he was not a narc.
It's true.
Took some,
It's like a scene out of
took some
Training Day,
drugs, yeah.
You ever get wet, Conan? That's what Denzel asked in Training Day.
Yeah. Well, when you have to explain a joke, you know,
He's meaner because he's hot.
that's what happens to me. I
His
become
filter-
Don
his
Rickles.
filter
when
came down.
You wrote this book. I was complimenting you backstage. You're going to be okay?
I am. I'm so happy with what was happening.
You wrote this book, Yearbook, and so many. That's nice.
Thank you.
There's so many times I read someone's book and I have to read it because I got to then interview them. And maybe the book's okay, but it's not something that I would necessarily talk about a lot. And then what happens is I get past it in the interview and I don't really touch on it that much. I read your book, and then you and I did the podcast, and that's all I could talk about. It was so good. Your book's fantastic. His book, if you have not read his book.
Thank you.
And you have so many great stories, but you wrote about working with Snoop Dogg.
I
It's
did.
a fantastic story.
Thank you. Yeah. Speaking of weed, I was. We made a film called "This Is the End" around 8 years ago. And, in that film, there's a song that Craig Robinson sings called "Take Your Panties Off," which I would argue has not aged well. But we thought it would be fun if at the end of the movie there was like a more produced version of the song that was like a real song. And then what if Snoop Dogg was on the song was what we thought. And we asked Snoop Dogg, and he's like, yeah, I'll be in a song called Take Your Panties Off. That doesn't seem like a stretch for Snoop Dogg. And so we met in the recording booth. Him and Craig were there. We were all smoking weed. Snoop had a man who rolled joints for him. That was his only job. That was... truly,
I can confirm that because the times I've been around Snoop, I have seen that happen.
Yes, he has a man who does that for him. Like, that is a human's job, which is honestly, like, if I wasn't a comedian, what I would want to do with my life. And so he wrote his hook and he was performing, and then I was like, you know, it'd be great, Snoop, is if you could sing a verse on the song, a rap verse. Because I'm very cool, that's what I called it. Could you sing a rap verse? And he was like, you know, I wasn't planning on doing a verse, I was just planning on singing the hook. And I was like, oh, it'd be great if you could do the verse. And he kind of puts his head down and he's like, okay, I'll do it. And then he looks over at one of his guys who's standing by the door, and he kind of narrows his gaze and he goes, hey, bring in the hose. At which point, a man with a garden hose did not come into the room, but instead, around 5 women dressed like strippers came into the room. And they danced, they played the beat, and they danced around for like 20 minutes as he wrote a verse on his BlackBerry. And as soon as he was done writing the verse, he kind of, with a wave of the hand, like dismissed the hose. And it flooded my head with questions. Like, the weird thing, he wasn't planning on writing a rap. So if he needs his army of hoes to appear whenever he writes a rap, does he have them around just in case? Like, that's what I couldn't believe.
Yeah.
It's like he has an army of muse hoes that he busses around in case someone's like, hey, could you write a rap? He's like, yeah, bring in the hose. Okay, dance. But that must be very expensive because not everyone's asking him to write raps all the time. Where were they? I didn't see them before this. I don't know where he was keeping them.
Hot air balloon.
Yeah, I
think
think
they travel in a hot air balloon, and he wants us down there. Set it down. They release they come down.
They rappel in every time. Overall, I shouldn't be saying ho is also something that.
I bet he probably just to make just to make use of them, he probably does it for emails and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
2 of them come in for an email.
For a tweet, yeah.
For a text, just maybe one. Like, oh, okay. Go,
But I was actually asked him once, like, why did you do that with the hose? And he's like, gotta make sure it's bumping.
He has an answer.
Irrefutable.
Do you ever think, what's fascinating to me about your career and reading about your childhood is, there was a lot of things that you were interested in doing, and you had ambitions, but you never dreamed probably that you would achieve the level that you have achieved.
No.
And so you're kind of a CEO, more or less, and you're in meetings constantly and in demand. People want to talk to you, big names.
Yes.
Want you in a meeting. Have you ever been in a meeting where you sort of stepped outside your body and thought, I can't believe this person's talking to me?
Oh, all the time. But yeah, the weirdest one, and I reference this in my book, is Tom Cruise, and not just Tom Cruise talking to me, but actively trying to make me a Scientologist.
How long ago was this?
This was in, I guess, 2000, when we were filming Knocked Up, so 2006 or 7.
Was he going through that period? Was it kind of a difficult period where
It was literally
jumping on the Oprah couch?
Jumping on couches, married to Katie Holmes, viewed generally as a crazy person at this time. I don't think I'm exaggerating that. And so Judd Apatow, who I was working with, got a call that Tom Cruise wanted to meet with us, and that he wanted to talk about comedy ideas. And in my head, I was like, it's probably so he doesn't seem crazy, which is a very smart strategy. Right. And so I was like, does he want to make a Scientologist? You know? And so we went to his house, and we're talking for several hours just about movies. He has stories about Stanley Kubrick. It was amazing. And he wasn't bringing up Scientology. And honestly, at first, I was very insulted because I thought, am I not good enough for these people?
What am I, chopped liver?
What do they want from me? Come on, they got Kirstie Alley and not me? Come on, what do we... What are we doing here? What are we doing? You know, Giovanni Ribisi? You know? And so...
I'm so glad I'm medicated right now.
Exactly.
We're all in a shitstorm of trouble now.
All people who will just beat the living out of me in the coming day. One of these people is going to beat me up, just so it's going to happen. So I was, maybe Tom Cruise. So I was at Tom Cruise's, and then finally, he starts to bring up Scientology, and he's saying how the perception of Scientology is not what it should be, and that people have a real, bad idea of what it is. And I'll never forget how he worded it. As he looked at me and Judd, he goes, "If you just let me talk to you and tell you what Scientology really was for like half an hour, you would say no f***ing way, man. You would say no f***ing way. That's what Scientology is? No f***ing way. If you just gave me half an hour of your time." And so there's a real moment where it's pressurized because he's waiting for us to say yes. And I look over at Judd, and I'm like, I'm not going to say yes because I genuinely don't think I'm strong enough to not become a Scientologist. If Tom Cruise wants me to be one.
Yeah.
I'm such a fan of his.
Yeah.
I'm very easily influenced as well.
Yeah.
I've filmed entire movies I look back on. I'm like, how did that happen?
So you'd have done it.
I for sure would have done it. But thank God Judd was like, no, we don't want to talk about that. And because of that, I'm probably less successful now than I would be if I was a Scientologist.
You'd be so much more successful.
I would be. I'd be in this new Top Gun movie.
I have to say, you have been a real, you've been a gentleman. You've been a great guy. I think you came on the late night show. All through the years, you've stopped by, and when we wanted someone to start off a show, kick off a show, or a show up here towards the end, you're always there, and you're always hilarious, and you're a mensch, as I told you back.
You did. It's an honor, honestly, an honor to be here. It's a joy of my career that I get to do things like this, and that I get to see a real audience.
Seth Rogen, ladies and gentlemen.